Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Inside Guns with your host, me, the Yankee Marshal. Today, I want to talk about that old debate of caliber versus capacity, something we've talked about a lot in the gun community. But today, I want to come at it from a different angle. I don't want to say, which do I think is more important? I want to talk about how and why neither of those things actually matter all that much. It's not really that big a deal. Some people will tell you it doesn't matter at all, and I kind of agree with those people. Maybe not for the reasons a lot of people cite. Now, a lot of people will say, since you're very unlikely to ever have to pull your gun for self-defense, kind of doesn't matter what it is. The fact that you're carrying one, that's all that really matters. And the fact that you'll have to actually fire it if you do draw it is even way tinier. Of the number of people who actually draw their weapon in self-defense, it's just a tiny single-digit fraction that actually has to fire their gun in self-defense. Just the presentation of a gun, just the bad guy knowing, oh, they're armed. I might have made a mistake. I kind of want to go away now. That's usually what happens because bad guys don't like to attack people that are prepared. They like defenseless victims. So the presence of a gun usually is enough to dissuade them. Therefore, caliber and capacity probably really don't matter that much. Because if you get into a situation where you have to pull the trigger, it's not that likely that's going to happen. But in my opinion, even if that does happen, you get into a situation where you have to pull the trigger, someone having a gun in their hand and the sound of the rounds going off and the feeling of your flesh being pierced is probably going to be enough to dissuade most any threat you're going to face. Unless you're going to war, which most of us aren't. So if you're carrying a modern gun in a modern caliber, whether it's a 2-shot 357 Magnum Derringer or a 30-shot 22 or an 18-shot 9mm, I think you're pretty safe. The fact that you're carrying is what matters. That you chose a reliable firearm to keep on your person, that's all that really matters. I've been in discussion groups with 10 other gun guys where we are vehemently disagreeing on what factors are more important and how you should carry and what you should carry, blah, blah, blah. But in the end, we'll say, but you know what's really important at the end is that you carry, right? No matter which one of us you agree with, the fact that you're just carrying a gun, that's the secret right there. And all of us will be like, yeah, that's all that really matters. Then you might say to yourself, well, then why all the drama? Why do people argue about it? Well, because there are things to do to be optimal, like when you're carrying a gun. If you want to have maximum ability to defend yourself, there's things you should probably do. If you want to have the quickest response times, there's things you can do. And it's fun to argue about them. It's like Chevy versus Ford. I like Chevy and Ford, but I will argue one against the other if I know the other person is very strongly on one side or the other, just because it's fun. You get to grind someone's gears, bust their balls. Gun community is a bunch of guys usually. There's some women. I wish there was more. I wish it was 50-50. But even the women in the gun community, they seem to like ball busting. So it's just something we do. It doesn't really matter what you carry, what caliber it is, how you carry it. Now, I might point out the dangers of some types of carry, like carrying a striker-fired gun with one in the chamber appendix, not a smart thing to do if you like your femoral artery or your genitals. But that doesn't mean I'm telling you, you shouldn't carry a gun if you're going to carry that way, or that I even care at all that you carry that way, because I really don't. If you blow your dick off, that's no skin off my balls, literally. I can just point out the dangers, and that's not that big a deal to me if you do it. I don't think free climbing rocks is a very good idea, and I'll make fun of someone who does it, but I don't tell them they shouldn't do it. Hey, let them fucking fall off a rock. I don't care. Like I said, not my problem. So most of these things we argue about don't matter. It's just fun, busting each other's balls about how you carry, what brand, what caliber, etc. As long as you're carrying, that's the major thing. And most of us in the gun community, even though we like to argue and squabble over things, we do respect each other's opinions on what you choose to carry. The fact that you're choosing to carry something, if you tell me, hey, I carry a little 32 Beretta because it's small, I can carry it at work, no one sees it, blah, 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 and, whatever your reasons are, I can be like, I am 100% behind your decision to carry that 32 Beretta. Because you're carrying, that's what matters. And I can respect if you say, I carry a Glock and I carry appendix, but I don't carry one in the chamber. Now, I might say carrying a gun without one in the chamber is not the brightest thing in the world to do, in my opinion. but I can completely respect your opinion to do it. And the very fact that you have the gun, that if in a bad situation you can draw and rack it, that doesn't really make me think you're that much less prepared for any situation. You might be not as prepared for a 1 in 10 million chance situation, but not everybody wants to prepare for everything down to the 10th decimal. So I can respect your decision. It's all about respect. It's kind of like with pronouns. I never understood why people get so upset about other people having different pronouns. If someone wants to tell me what pronouns to call them, if they want to be he, him, she, her, they, them, it, that, which I'm going to start that one. I want to be referred to as it and that. That's my pronouns now. Actually, according to most of my viewers, I think my pronouns are prick and fag, to be honest. But that's according to the viewers, that's not my personal choice. That's kind of been thrust upon me. But not the first time I've been thrust upon, according to most of my viewers. But getting off topic here. Like I say, it's about respect. If someone tells me they want to be, these are my pronouns, I don't care. If someone says this is my gender, I don't care. Gender and sex are two different things. No one's ever going to say to me there's more than two sexes. There's two sexes. But gender, that's got to do with societal roles of the sexes. Don't give two shits about it. If someone wants to be called something, I'm respectful. As long as they don't, like if I say, thank you, sir, to someone who identifies as a woman, but they present as a man, and they jump down my throat, then I'll be like, well, I guess you are transgender because you just proved to me you're both a dick and a cunt at the same time, because that's not nice. If I misgender someone and it's an honest mistake and they tell me, oh, I actually identify as her, and then I continue to misgender them, that's a different story. But if I do it wrong the first time, just tell me different. Be respectful. I'm being respectful of you. You be respectful of me and my ignorance. It's the same thing with gun stuff. You want to carry a 9mm? I respect your decision to carry that, just like I expect you to respect my decision to carry a real caliber. You know, if you want to carry a polymer gun, I respect that decision. You're prepared. Just like you have to respect my decision to carry a real gun, one made out of metal. It's all about respect. And most of these things don't matter. Don't get hung up on the disputes because, like I say, it's like Chevy versus Ford. It's mostly for fun. If you find something you like, that you shoot well, and that you're able to carry it. You're 99% of the way to whatever you want to be. Then if you want to go that extra 1% and become a tactical commando or, whatever, expert cowboy shooter, whatever your extra 1% is, that's all it is. It's an extra 1%. The difference between you and the most trained and successful people out there when it comes to walking around in your daily life and being safe, if you have a gun on you, is like 1%. Because like I say, you're 99% there, just having the proper mindset that you should have something with you, a tool to defend yourself, and that you know how to use it. That's, like I said, 99% of being prepared. So all the other little stuff doesn't matter that much. But we're still going to argue about it because it's fun. It's what we do. We love to bust balls. This is a community. And sometimes in a community like a family, the squabbles are actually more fun than the facts. But the fact is, if you carry a gun, period, like I said, you're 99% of the way to being as prepared as you can be. And if you want to go that extra 1%, that's totally up to you. All right, with all that being said, I want to move on to my favorite part of the show once again, and that is gun talk. Today, I want to answer a question that came from a viewer during a live chat the other night. They said, hey, with all these new regulations that are affecting pistols and pistol braces and how things that were legal before aren't legal now, is that going to have an effect on mare's legs? And if you don't know what a mare's leg is, it's basically a cut-down rifle. So they're saying, will some of these be illegal now? Because some of these pistols with pistol braces that were legal before are not legal now. So is that going to be the same with mare's legs? Well, first off, you're coming at this from a false assumption. The things that are not compliant now, and I like to use the word compliant, were not compliant then either when they sold them. They just never bothered to ask. And the ATF didn't really get involved until people started making an issue of it. So then they published their criteria. So these items that are not legal now would have never gotten an approval letter 2 years ago either. The ones that aren't compliant now would not have been compliant then either. Just now we know why they wouldn't be compliant and the ridiculous reasons why they wouldn't be compliant. But none of that really affects mare's legs, because the main issue with the pistols and stuff is the length of pull. With a lot of the AR pistols with the braces on them, you end up with a rifle length of pull. And that's like 13.5 inches. A lot of AKs have 13-inch length of pull. 13.5-inch length of pull is pretty much standard. So once you get to that length of pull, you've got a rifle pretty much. With mare's legs, it's like 7 or 8 inches. You would not want to shoulder this. Not really designed for shouldering. And you wouldn't even really be able to use it well shouldered. How would you work the action on it? It wouldn't be very easy to use. And you don't have other grips. You don't have a stock or a buffer tube that's interchangeable. That's the big issues with most of the pistol grips now. The thing that makes them non-compliant more than anything else is the overall length of pull and the type of buffer tube used. Neither of those things apply to mare's legs, so you don't have to worry. You're also not going to be probably not putting red dots or forward grips or anything else on your mare's legs. I mean, you could, and they'd still be compliant by the point system, but they're a different beast. They're a whole different animal than the AR pistols and the pistol braces, the AK pistols, etc. They are clearly not meant to be shouldered. The length of pull is nowhere near what it would be for a rifle. The accessory options are nowhere near what it would be for the ARs and the AKs. So, like I said, the things that get the ARs and the AKs the most points don't even exist on the mare's legs. So it's really something you shouldn't worry about. I don't worry about it, period, even if it's an AK or an AR. But if it's a mare's leg, I definitely ain't worried about it. All right, everybody, I want to end the show today with our pet rescue of the day and viewer EDC, because the person who sent me the pet rescue also sent me their EDC. And today we have Zoe, who appears to be a pit bull mix here, a staffy, and a very beautiful staffy. It looks like someone Turnip would like to get a hold of. Well, before we had his balls cut off, because they look very similar, but now I'm sure he's probably not that. He'd love to play with her, but that'd be about it. He's not exactly a stud now that he has no testicles. But Zoe is a very beautiful dog there, and I just showed people adopt pit bulls. Pit bulls are some of the best dogs you can have. Pit bulls, Rottweilers, they're such lovable dogs. People are afraid of these dogs. Dobermans, everything else. They are some of the best dogs you can have. Don't be afraid of adopting a pit bull. They're awesome. And Zoe was adopted by Jim R. and Matt. Apparently Zoe has 2 daddies, which I guess means Zoe's going to be very well adjusted. Kids that have 2 daddies tend to grow up very well. Do very good educationally, be very successful, according to most studies. So good for Zoe. Unfortunately, one of Zoe's dads is, as they pointed out, a cop. Now, we'll try not to hold that against Zoe. Although that probably does mean she has a bad attitude because from my experiences, both being a school teacher and a social worker, I've never seen kids with worse attitudes than cops' kids other than preachers' kids. They're usually the worst. So Zoe might have a little bit of an attitude. And she's pretty too. So pretty and having an attitude wouldn't surprise me with Zoe here. But also, Jim, who sent the picture in for him and Matt of Zoe, also sent a picture of his EDC, which is a Tang Folio Witness in 10 millimeter. This is a gun I've always kind of wanted to try, but never have. I see him at SHOT Show all the time, and I'm very interested, but I'm just, I don't know, too shy to make the approach or something. I just kind of like giggle and, do and twirl my feet whenever I see them. But awesome gun. I'm just, like I say, so interested in these, but I've never really had any experience with some. I hope to do someday have some experience with one, because I'd love to get a 10 millimeter one of these. And they make some beautiful race guns. But just wanted to show this today, wanted to show his 10 millimeter Tang Folio, because it is kind of an unusual choice and a choice I'm very interested in. And I wanted to show Zoe, beautiful Zoe there, and congratulate her for finding her forever home, even if it is in a cop's house. And congratulations to Matt and Jim for being good guys and giving a wonderful dog like Zoe a forever home for the rest of her life. All right, everybody, that's our show for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you come back again tomorrow. Until then, I just want to sign off by saying, as usual, as far as the state of the world today is concerned, it is what it is. It could be a lot worse, but it could be better. And if we start as a community calling out the fearmongers, the profiteers, the propagandists, the people who want to manipulate you through fear and anger to serve their own financial interests instead of serving the interests of the Second Amendment community, if we start calling those people out and ignoring them, what things will be for the gun community and those of us that love freedom in the very near future is better.